This video is a bit unusual for me. It's the first one in which I've had a cast of supporting characters. Although to be truthful, I'm the supporting character. It's a video of an interview I did with the Dumfries Stand in the Park group a couple of Sundays ago. If you've never heard of Stand in the Park before, they're a global organisation now. And every Sunday at 10 o'clock in parks all over the world, people get together to discuss the current situation in the world, to provide support for each other and to share information that they don't get in normal news outlets. What follows now is unrehearsed, unscripted and entirely spontaneous. The group didn't know any of the questions I was going to ask them, and in fact neither did I. It was just a conversation between me and 4 members of a group of enthusiasts who are trying to do their bit to bring the world back to a sense of normality. So here it is. Let's watch the video. Right, we're here in Dumfries with the Dumfries Stand in the Park group. Most people won't know what Stand in the Park is. So would one of you like to just tell the viewers what Stand in the Park is all about?
Sure, yeah, I'll start off. I'll start off by telling my story, shall I? That's okay.
Yeah, please do.
From day one, I realised this is 2 years ago now that this was all lies and propaganda, the COVID pandemic. But I felt so alone, and living in Dumfries and Galloway, it's a very widespread community. You know, the little communities are dotted all over the place, and I live in a little village on the coast. And I was the only person that I believed was holding those views. So I was standing, walking on myself, walking alone, believing I was the only person with these views, you know, and that I was sticking out like a sore thumb every time I tried to speak to someone. And I just needed to meet up with one other person. And online I saw this thing called Stand in the Park, and there was one at the local park in Dumfries town centre. So I went to it with the hope of meeting just one other kindred soul that I could at least share 5 minutes with and feel human again. And I turned up, it was a lovely sunny day, this is 18 months ago now, and there was probably 35 people there. And I just spoke to every single person who was like-minded. They knew that this was wrong, they knew what was happening was not for our benefit. And I walked away from there after speaking to 35 like-minded souls, and I floated home. It was such a joy, and that's what Stand in the Park is about. It's about meeting other like-minded people. So if you don't know about it, they've got their own website, they tell you where all the park meetings are. Go, turn up. You don't have to wear yellow, but you know, you can if you want. And from that, I've now developed a network of like-minded souls, of people that project what we want in the future, not living in fear and anxiety and feeling hatred towards other people because they hold different views to us. It's about a community of people that can come together, share their hopes and anxieties and fears, and work through it and go forward. And it's just great camaraderie and companionship, and I'll leave that there.
That's great. Thanks very much. I've been to quite a few Stand in the Park groups now, and I've heard that story a few times. It's very, very, very common. I understand that perfectly. What do you expect as a group to be able to do though? What is the aim? Is it just a personal thing, or are you trying to effect some kind of change in society?
I think at the beginning we just wanted to link up with like-minded people in the area, and obviously to do that gives us a wee bit more strength and we felt a bit more secure. And when we got together we were trying to get the word out about what's happening to people. I think as things move on it'll probably grow, maybe being part of a political party or something else, you know. I think that's the way of the future with it, and I think all the people here and all the other areas of Scotland as well will probably do the same thing. It'll probably get political eventually, because there doesn't seem to be anything politically in the political class at all. that can help with the problems that we're facing at the moment.
Can I say something actually as well to that? I think locally, just because we all have to start local, and I think originally it was about just us meeting together and finding out who we were as individuals, what we could bring to the table, and as you say, what it is that we're looking for and to achieve out of this. I think what we want to achieve out of this, the end goal, is just the peace, that's and love, and that's the bigger picture. But in terms of affecting change locally, yes, there are people, so it's all about our strengths and weaknesses within the group, or mainly the strengths. So we're finding out about legal aspects of the whole thing. In fact, we've researched so much in such a short space of time. We are becoming experts in ways in a lot of different subjects. So it's about finding out politically what the political situation is, legally what the political stance is, and finding out how we can keep on top of it. For example, locally within our own council, Dumfries and Galloway Council, what their rules and regulations are, what's going on in the schools in terms of mask wearing and so on, why they close schools, and actually sending out letters to chief executives, to the head of the council, and just let them know that we are aware of the situation and we are aware of our rights, which is so important in all of this, and that they cannot just do what they are doing.
And be held to account, yes.
And be held to account.
Yeah.
And one very important question that has been asked, and is kept being asked in all of this, is what authority do they have to be doing what they are doing? And we keep asking that question, and it always upskittles them. And it's a really good one. If anybody, to all of you that are out there that are watching this, it's always asking that question: what authority do you have? Yeah.
Yeah, I found over the past couple of years, like yourself, a lot of people have assumed a lot of authority that they don't actually have. And I think that's one of the things that
create the illusion.
Exactly. It's looking behind the curtain, isn't it? And seeing the wizard. Okay, so individually you're talking to head teachers, counsellors, possibly some medical staff. Does the group as a whole have a presence? Do you write to anybody as the Dumfries Standing Apart group? Or
I think
we have started a movement called the Declaration of Dumfries.
Right.
So we are working. We are working on making things more as official, in inverted commas, as a group. So yes, we do have a label at the moment called Declaration of Dumfries, which is what we're wanting to.
And that can be accessed via Facebook.
Yes, it can. You can get it on Facebook.
Right.
What's the other thing that's called? Substack.
Okay.
Yeah, there's that as well.
Right.
We're setting up a website, declarationofdumfries.co.uk. That's in the pipeline. So yes, we are moving forward.
Good. Good. So do you see a long-term future for the Standing Apart group? You mentioned earlier 35 people or so standing in the cold in Dock Park at the bandstand, and I've been there myself. I know it's very chilly out there. We're now sitting with a smaller group in a very comfortable pub, a Wetherspoons, in centre of Dumfries. What's the long-term future for the group? Is it going to expand again? Will it achieve any political power of its own?
I don't know, but it will naturally evolve. It has to, and it may come to the point where just standing around in a park talking to people has limited value anymore. That may be the case. I don't know. We're not there yet, obviously. But I think it's about people actually realising that the lifestyle that they had or they thought they had has gone. And for me, initially 18 months, 2 years ago, it was I just want to get back to normal. But now I don't, because the normal stinks. It sucks. There is no such thing. That's not normal. That's abnormal. We want a different, better future. And as individuals and as a group, I think that's where it will evolve and we will start working together as individuals, speaking one-to-one to our families and friends and people we meet, and as a group holding people to account that make the decisions at the moment that we thoroughly disagree with and we know for the most part are unmoral and unlawful, and holding them to account. And that's where the growth is, that's where the growth will be. It's just a natural, organic growth of a group of people that first of all didn't realise that we all existed as individuals. Now we know that, we've come together, we've bonded, we know each other's strengths and weaknesses, and I think going forward the evolution will be, the next step will be, okay, let's hold these people to account that have made these decisions, that have screwed up people's lives, that are causing suicides and so much harm, especially to young children in schools. Hold them to account, and then start to bring about the change, the change that we want for a better society, so that everybody is included, everybody feels worth, and that it's, that we're not rewarded for being horrible to people, but you're rewarded for helping people and sharing and helping people.
And in addition to that, I think it's really important as well, for me anyway, to know that we're not like a political party, or we're not one group. We are a combination of people, a very diverse group of people, and we all have very diverse interests and inspirations, and this whole situation is so multi-layered, and some of us are really naturally prone to protest or have activism or something like that. That really inspires them. Other people are much more into spiritual growth and spiritual development, or just keeping the vibes high. That in this time is so important as well. And practical things, like some of us are really into growing things or prepping, or all of these kind of things. There's space for everything, and nobody needs to feel that they have to be anything different than they are. And it's a very inclusive group, and that to me is very, very valuable in this society where you have to make choices, like you want to be in this group or that group, and this is very inclusive, organic sort of collection of individuals.
Yeah, good. That's what I've found in the other groups. There is a very wide spectrum of interests and abilities in all of the groups. Although some of them are developing their own particular characteristics, but they are all very wide spectrum of people involved in them. Okay, so that's. Thank you very much for all of that. Is there anything that I haven't asked that you would like to tell the viewers?
I think there will come a point where other people will realise, they'll have that light bulb moment of what is going on. People that are not aware at this moment in time, because there is a lot of strange things going on at the moment in the world, and they're happening very quickly. But never, it all seems to be accelerated, and at some point, I'm hoping that people, being what they are, must surely go, what on earth is going on? They won't want any more jabs. Even the wars that are going on, they must think, surely to God, there is something behind the scenes, and they will have that wake-up moment and then realise that this is all wrong as well, because this is all about numbers to a point at the end of the day, and I think we hope that happens sooner rather than later.
I think people will be forced eventually, with the information out there, to look at the problems that we face. The hardest part for them, I think, will be looking at themselves and how they've got to change, and that's got to be the hardest part. And that's what I think that's really where that's the problems that we have at the moment, is people aren't willing to look at themselves.
And hopefully, if that time comes, we can form sort of a network or sort of a safety net for people to fall into a little bit, and for us to support them if people are finally finding out what's happening.
Yeah, good, a very noble aim. Thank you very much for your time. So there you are then. That's why those four people have been getting together every Sunday for quite a long time now. Because this is Scotland and the weather in the winter time is not that great, this group moved into a pub for Sunday mornings. They've now moved back again. If you want to go and speak to them, please go along to Dock Park in Dumfries at 10 o'clock any Sunday morning, and you should find these four and probably an awful lot more. If you can't get to Dumfries, please look at the website, where you will be able to find one fairly near you. There are stands all over the country. I hope you enjoyed the video. I think it's quite an important little document of a social movement which is growing at the moment in response to some fairly horrible things happening to society at the moment.